Jnanakosha Upanishads.
ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपवज्रमस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदान शृण्वन्नोतिभिः ओम पूर्णमिदं पूर्णमदः पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेव अवशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
Krishna Yajurveda Upanishads, Yoga Kundalini Upanishad, Chapter 2. I shall thereafter and I shall hereafter describe the science called Kechari, which is such that one who knows it is freed from old age and death in this world. One who is subject to the pains of death, disease and old age should, O sage, on knowing this science, make his mind firm and practice Kechari. One should regard that person as his guru on earth who knows Kechari and destroyer of old age and death, both from knowing the meaning of books and practice, and should perform it with all his heart. The science of Kechari is not easily attainable, as also its practice. Its practice and melana are not accomplished simultaneously. Those that are bent upon practice alone do not get melana. Only some get the practice of Brahmana after several births, but melana is not obtained even after 100 births. Having undergone the practice after several births, some yogin gets the melana in some future birth as the result of his practice. When a yogin gets this melana from the mouth of his guru, then he obtains the siddhis mentioned in the several books. When a man gets this melana through books and the significance, then he attains the state of Shiva, freed from all rebirth. Even gurus may not be able to know this without books. Therefore, this science is very difficult to master. An ascetic should wander over the earth so long as he fails to get this science, and when this science is obtained, then he has got the siddhi in his hand. Therefore, one should regard as Achyuta, the person who imparts the melana, as also him who gives out the science. He should regard as Shiva him who teaches the practice. Having got this science from me, you should not reveal it to others. Therefore, one who knows this should protect it with all his efforts. O Brahmana, one should go to the place where lives the Guru who is able to teach the divine yoga and there learn from him the science Kechari, and being then taught well by him, should at first practice it carefully. By means of this science, a person will attain the siddhi of Kechari, joining with Kechari Shakti. By means of the science of Kechari, which contains the bija of the Kechari, one becomes the lord of Kecharas and lives always amongst them. Kechara bija is spoken of as Agni encircled with water and as the abode of Kecharas. Through this yoga, siddhi is mastered. The 9th letter of Soma Sa should also be pronounced in the reverse order. Then a letter composed of 3 asas of the form of moon has been described, and after that the 8th letter should be pronounced in the reverse order. Then consider it as the supreme and its being as the 5th, and this is said to the kuta, horns of the several bhinas, parts of the moon. This which tends to the accomplishment of all yogas should be learnt through the initiation of a guru. He who recites this 12 times every day will not get even in sleep that Maya which is born in his body and which is the source of all vicious deeds. He who recites this 5 lakhs of times with very great care, to him the science of Kechari will reveal itself. All obstacles vanish and the Devas are pleased. The destruction of Valipalita will take place without doubt. Having acquired this great science, one should practice it afterwards. If not, O Brahmana, he will suffer without getting any siddhi in the path of Kechari. If one does not get this nectar like science in this practice, he should get it in the beginning of Melana and recite it always. One who is without it never gets siddhi. As soon as he gets this science, he should practice it, and then the sage will soon get the siddhi. Having drawn out the tongue from the root of the palate, a knower of Atman should clear the impurity for 7 days according to the advice of his Guru. He should take a sharp knife which is oiled and cleansed and which resembles the leaf of the plant snuhi, and should cut for the space of a hair. Having poured Saindhava and Patya, he should apply it to the place. On the 7th day, he should again cut for the space of a hair. Thus, for the space of 6 months, he should continue it always gradually with great care. In 6 months, Sirobandha, which is at the root of the tongue, is destroyed. Then the yogin who knows timely action should encircle with Sirovastra the Vak Ishwari and should draw it up. Again, by daily drawing it up, for 6 months it comes, O sage, as far as the middle of the eyebrows and obliquely up to the opening of the ears. Having gradually practiced, it goes to the root of the chin. Then in 3 years it goes up easily to the end of the hair. It goes up obliquely to Sakha and downwards to the well of the throat. In another 3 years it occupies Brahmandra and stops there without doubt. Crosswise it goes up to the top of the head and downwards to the well of the throat. Gradually it opens the great adamantine door in the head. The red science of Kechari Bija has been explained before. One should perform the 6 angas of this mantra by pronouncing it in 6 different intonations. One should do this in order to attain all the siddhis. And this karyanyasam should be done gradually and not all at a time, since the body of one who does it all at once will soon decay. Therefore it should be practiced, O best of the sages, little by little. When the tongue goes to the Brahmandra through the outer path, then one should place the tongue after moving the bolt of Brahma, which cannot be mastered by the Devas. On doing this for 3 years, with the point of finger, he should make the tongue enter within. Then it enters Brahmavara. On entering the Brahmavara, one should practice Matana well. Some intelligent men attain siddhi even without Matana. One who is versed in Kechari mantra accomplishes it without Matana. By doing the japa and Matana, one reaps the fruits soon. By connecting a wire made of gold, silver or iron with the nostrils by means of a thread soaked in milk, one should restrain his breath in his heart and seated in a convenient posture, with his eyes concentrated between his eyebrows, he should perform Matana slowly. In 6 months, the state of Matana becomes natural like sleep in children, and it is not advisable to do Matana always. It should be done once only in every month. A yogin should not revolve his tongue in the path. After doing this for 12 years, siddhi is surely obtained. Then he sees the whole universe in his body as not being different from Atman. This path of the Urdhva Kundalini, O chief of kings, conquers the macrocosm. Thus ends the second chapter. Chapter 3. Melana mantra Hrim Bham Sam Pam Hum Sam Ksham. The lotus born Brahma said, O Shankara, new moon and full moon, which is spoken of as its mantra sign. In the first day of lunar fortnight and during new moon and full moon, it should be made firm, and there is no other way. A man longs for an object through passion and is infatuated with passion for objects. One should always leave these two and seek the Niranjana, stainless. He should abandon everything else which he thinks is favorable to himself, keeping the Manas in the midst of Shakti and Shakti in the midst of Manas. One should look into Manas by means of Manas. Then he leaves even the highest stage. Manas alone is Bindu, the cause of creation and preservation. It is only through Manas that Bindu is produced, like the curd from milk. The organs of Manas is not that which is situated in the middle of Bandhana. Bandhana is there where Shakti is between the sun and moon. Having known Sushmana and its Bheda, and making the Vayu go in the middle, one should stand in the seat of Bindu and close the nostrils. Having known Vayu, the above mentioned Bindu and the Sattva Prakriti as well as the 6 chakras, one should enter the Sukha Mandala. There are 6 chakras. Mooladhara is in the anus, Disthana is near the genital organ, Manipuraka is in the navel, Anahata is in the heart, Vishuddhi is at the root of the neck, and Ajnana is in the head between the 2 eyebrows. Having known these 6 mandalas, one should enter the Sukha Mandala, drawing up the Vayu, and should send it upwards. He who practices thus Vayu becomes one with Brahmanda. He should practice Vayu, Bindu, Chitta and Chakra. Yogins attain the nectar of equality through Samadhi alone. Just as the fire latent in wood does not appear without churning, so the lamp of wisdom does not arise without the Abhyasa Yoga. The fire placed in a vessel does not give light outside. When the vessel is broken, its light appears without. One's body is spoken of as the vessel, and the seat of that is the fire within. And when it is broken through the words of a Guru, the light of Brahma Jnana becomes resplendent. With the Guru as the helmsman, one crosses the subtle body and the ocean of samsara through the affinities of practice. That walk which sprouts in para, gives forth 2 leaves in pasya anti, buds forth in madhyama, and blossoms in vaikhari. That walk which has before been described reaches the stage of the absorption of sound, reversing the above order. Whoever thinks that he who is the great Lord of that walk, who is the undifferentiated and who is the illuminator of that walk, is self. Whoever thinks over thus is never affected by words high or low. The 3 Vishwa, Taijasa and Prajna, the 3 Virat, Hiranyagarbha and Ishvara in the universe, the egg of the universe, the egg of man and the 7 worlds, all these in turn are absorbed in Pratyagatma through the absorption of their respective upadhis. The egg being heated by the fire of jnana is absorbed with its karana into Paramatman. Then it becomes one with the Parabrahma. It is then neither steadiness nor depth, neither light nor darkness, neither describable nor distinguishable. Sat alone remains. One should think of Atman as being within the body like a light in a vessel. Atman is the dimensions of a thumb, is a light without smoke and without form, is shining without the body and is undifferentiated and immutable. The Vijnana Atman that dwells in this body is deluded by Maya during the states of waking, dreaming and dreamless sleep, but after many births owing to the effect of good karma, it wishes to attain its own state. Who am I? How has this stain of mundane existence occurred to me? What becomes in the dreamless sleep of me who am engaged in business in the waking and dreaming states? Just as a bale of cotton is burnt by fire, so the chitta bhasma, which is the result of non-wisdom, is burnt by the thoughts like the above and by its own supreme illumination. The outer burning of body as done in the world is no burning at all. When the worldly wisdom is destroyed, Pratyagatman is in the dhara, obtains Vijnana, diffusing itself everywhere and burns in an instant Jnanamaya and Manomaya. After this, he himself shines always within, like a light within a vessel. That Muni who contemplates does still sleep until death is to be known as a Jivan Mukta. Having done what ought to be done, he is a fortunate person. And having given up the state of a Jivan Mukta, he attains Videha Mukta in a disembodied state. After this body wears off, he attains the state as if of moving in the air. Then that alone remains which is soundless, touchless, formless and deathless, which is the rasa, eternal and odorless, which has neither beginning nor end, which is greater than the great and which is permanent, stainless and decayless. Thus ends the third chapter. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om, may He protect us both together. May He nourish us both together. May we work conjointly with great energy. May our study be vigorous and effective. May we not mutually dispute. Om, let there be peace in me. Let there be peace in my environment. Let there be peace in the forces that act on me. Here ends the Yoga Kundalini Upanishad belonging to the Krishna Yajurveda.